What's up guys, and welcome back to another Pokemon Sun and Moon speculation video, I guess we're going to call this one. So yeah, we're going to speculate about a theory that's cropping up over the internet since the reveal of the games actually, and it's to do with the logos, and I'll talk more about this later on when we get to it, but it's a very interesting theory. It's a very, I don't want to say convoluted theory, but it's different, okay? It's different. A lot of you aren't going to like it. I don't particularly like the theory myself. But obviously it is a theory and it is a possibility, I guess, so we'll check it out and see how we do. So, first up, before I get into any of the theory stuff, I need to tell you some backstory. Well, there is this manga called Pokemon Rebirth. It was released in 2011 along with it's sort of in the black and white era, so it was all for Generation 5 Pokemon and such. But this is a different sort of Pokemon manga. It wasn't your generic Pokemon with Pokeballs and Pokemon trainers and all that. It featured a special technique called Burst, and this was performed by Burst Warriors. Yeah, I know, it's Japan, get used to it. And basically Burst allows a human to combine with a Pokemon. And to do this you need to use a Burst Heart, which is basically a little crystal that has a Pokemon inside it. So instead of having a Pokeball that holds a Pokemon, you have a crystal that holds a Pokemon, and instead of, throwing the Pokemon out the Pokeball, you basically combine with the crystal, and the main character I think combines with a Zekrom quite a lot, and there's loads of Generation 5 Pokemon like, I can't remember off the top of my head, but Emboar, Samurai I think is done, so there's loads of Pokemon it's done for. And basically it's sort of like, human Pokemon stuff you might see over the internet every now and again, people just drawing this sort of thing. So it's very different to the normal Pokemon manga, and it was released in 2011 in some magazine I think it was, so it's very different. Now, if we take a look at these logos for Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon, in particular the Japanese or the Chinese logos, because the English logos don't feature this, but we can see there is in the middle of the logo a sort of a diamond-like crystal. It's blue for Pokemon Sun and orange for Pokemon Moon, so the opposite way around. And this is similar to the X and Y logos, if we remember. If we look at the Japanese X and Y logos, you can see right sort of in the middle of the logo, similar position to where the diamonds are on the new ones, there are these Mega Evolution symbols. So now obviously we know what the Mega Evolution symbols are on those logos. They are Mega Evolution tied, just sort of an extra way of promoting it, I guess. So maybe the same is true for Pokemon Sun and Moon with these logos, with these diamond shaped things. Maybe, just maybe, in Pokemon Sun and Moon a new game mechanic is going to be introduced that allows you to combine with your Pokemon to create basically a human Pokemon mashup. Obviously, it's gonna be, if it happens, it would be very hard to do, because obviously if in a manga you've got a character, his design is pretty much set, his or her design I should say, is pretty much set, so when you combine it with Pokemon you can just choose what it looks like, and you can set a thing. Obviously with Pokemon games, obviously you have men and boy and girl, so you could say okay, they're going to have two forms for each, one for male, one for female, but it's a bit different still, because it's a game and you might not want to use yourself to fight, especially since a lot of, before X and Y we couldn't really choose customization for our characters. I will be doing a video on whether customization will return in Sun and Moon, so watch out for that fairly soon, but assuming it doesn't, you're going to be stuck with whatever the character looks like, and the combination with the Pokemon, which might not appeal to you obviously, and the whole idea might not appeal anyway. Who wants to fight using yourself rather than your Pokemon? It's just completely ridiculous, I guess, in my opinion at least. But there was also some other type of information to back it up. Remember Ash Greninja? It was revealed at the same time as the Zygarde forms. I was like, okay, it's just some sort of anime exclusive there, I'm going to ignore it. But it could very easily be linked to Burst Hearts and these logos and the new stuff for Sun and Moon, since obviously I don't think we've seen Ash Greninja in the anime yet. Don't tell me if I'm wrong, because I don't follow the anime, but I don't think we've seen it, meaning that at the time we see it is just before Sun and Moon, hence it makes some sort of good promotion if this mechanic is in Sun and Moon, looking at it from the Pokemon Company's perspective. And the Ash Greninja is described as occurring, I guess, when the bond between it and Ash is raised to the limit. It sounds a lot like Mega Evolution, obviously, but bond being raised to the limit, obviously this Ash Greninja does not look like a Mega Greninja because it has Ash's clothing. It's almost like Ash has merged with Greninja, which is exactly what burst hearts and the burst technique do. We also told it happened once before in Kalos, several hundred years ago. Now obviously we don't know many characters that are several hundred years old. Oh wait, we do. AZ and his Floette. Apparently, obviously we know they have a very strong bond, apart from the time where the Floette left, of course. But before the ultimate weapon was used, before AZ, the Floette died, it's possible that AZ merged with his Floette, or the Floette had a different form, something along those lines. So all of this could come together to have some sort of edited version of the burst technique. I mean, I wouldn't expect them to call it the burst technique and have burst hearts, because it's just very different, isn't it? You have to collect burst hearts as well and merge with these Pokemon, and it would be like you have Pokemon in Pokeballs and Pokemon in burst hearts sort of thing. So they might have something different where instead of having it like that, it's like another form of Mega Evolution almost. Once you are very close to your Pokemon, you can simply merge, or the Pokemon can enter a new form depending on how strong your bond is. So like a Mega Evolution for Pokemon without Mega Evolution. It's a very, very weird concept, I guess. Personally, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it happen. Why would we need it? We had Mega Evolution Generation 6, let that last a few more generations at least before introducing a big game mechanic basically. And we don't really need another big game mechanic in Pokemon in general. We know it's fine as it is. Obviously every couple of years it's good to introduce something new, and that's what Mega Evolutions did, and it helped a lot with competitive and all the other sort of promotional art and materials, getting different games, all of that stuff. So I don't know, I just wouldn't like to see it. Obviously let me know what you think of this idea down below in the comment section, guys, but I don't think it's very likely either, but it's a very sort of a prominent theory out there at the moment, because if we look at the logos again, here are 2 Diamond Jewels things, and then if we take a look at sort of 3 burst hearts from the anime, they're in exactly the same shape. Some burst hearts aren't a perfect diamond sort of thing, but these 3 are. It's a bit weird. Why would they put this symbol in the logos of Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon if it weren't to mean something, The Mega Evolution symbol was clearly placed in the X and Y logos when they were first announced. They're in the first trailer. It's not something that was added later on. When X and Y were first announced in the Japanese trailer, right at the end when the logos are revealed, the Mega Evolution symbol is there. Obviously it's not there for the English version because the English version doesn't have the Mega Evolution symbol anyway. But it does beg the question, why would they add it in if it's not going to mean something? Of course, it might not necessarily mean it's burst heart stuff, it might mean something else. What that something else might be is completely up for discussion right now, but burst heart is one of the possibilities, just because of the similarities to some of the diamond sort of looking, the diamond shapes, I guess, for burst hearts, as well as Ash Greninja as well. It's sort of come up recently, and it could end up getting woven into the game somehow, after most people shooting it be a anime exclusive. So really, I don't know, you can't make I don't want to say this theory is complete crap, because obviously there is some good things, some good evidence behind it, and why would they put the diamonds in the logos if they weren't to mean something? Then again, I don't believe they would add in Pokemon-human hybrids into the game. It's not needed at all, it's completely useless in my opinion. You don't need to, just carry on Mega Evolutions for a couple more generations. Those are sort of, the prominent thing in Pokemon right now. So, I don't know why they would do it, but the diamonds in the logos, or the diamond in the logos, it piques my interest, because I don't think they'd do it, but the diamonds are there for a reason, and hopefully we'll find this reason out soon. Of course, if you guys have any other ideas what this reason might be, why they got diamonds in the logos, is it to do with burst hearts, or is it to do with some other theory, some other sort of, oh I know, it could be the fact that, these are what Mega Stones look like in this new region, something along those lines. I don't know, guys. Let me know any of your ideas down below in the comment section, and let me know what you think about having burst hearts and burst technique in the main series Pokemon games. Would you like to see it? Is there anyone else out there would actually like to see Pokemon-human hybrids in Sun and Moon, or is it something that most people are strongly opposed to, and they think that Pokemon should be kept as a separate entity to humans in general? As always, guys, if you enjoyed the video, let me know with a like down below and a comment saying what you think about all of this topic and all of that stuff. But for now, this is it for me for today. I'll be seeing you next time. Goodbye, my friends.